So Dave, tell us about Great Lakes Metal Finishing there in Erie, Pennsylvania. Tell us all that you all do and processes that you offer there.
Okay. We're primarily a zinc and zinc nickel electroplater, offering both rack and barrel processes for both
Mm-hmm.
zinc and zinc nickel. We also
Mm-hmm.
do quite a bit of nitric passivation in both rack and barrel applications. We
Mm-hmm.
run two shifts. We have about 45 employees and have been in business for 32 years now.
32 years. Wow. Yeah, it's a long time with that. Yeah. Is it mostly automotive that you're doing? I know,
We're about a third automotive, a third military, and a third general industrial.
gotcha. Had it always been that evened out like that before for you all? Or?
Um, no, we used to be a little bit heavier in automotive,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen some other areas, especially the general industrial fasteners, grow quite a bit over the last decade.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Like I said, things change. You got to adjust to it. I
Yeah.
remember, like I said, I think I read about you all many years ago, and I know that one of the things I think I recall or something we talked about was that you guys are always, you kind of have kind of a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans. You got these different plans. You're always trying to do that. Are you still working on those or putting those into effect for you all?
Yeah, absolutely. We're putting in, and because of those plans, we're putting in another barrel line right now,
Okay.
installing a bigger zinc nickel barrel line.
Okay.
In that plan, we have a new waste treatment in our 3 year plan, and then another rack line a little bit further out from that. So we're always continually looking to the future, always reinvesting into the company to make sure our
Right.
equipment is top of the line and the best out there.
Right. Yeah. A lot of companies don't do that, especially, reinvesting. And also you talked about adding a line, but also scaling up your wastewater treatment. That seems
Yeah,
like that a lot of people get bit by that, where they don't really pay attention to that of how it's going to handle that. But I know you all have been very good stewards of that, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, our waste treatment isn't that old entirely.
hmm
I believe it was put in maybe 8, 9 years ago, maybe. But it's
hmm
just unfortunately it was at the time it was more than we needed. But now it's getting close. So yeah, that's an area that we've got to increase, make it a little bit of a larger system.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, since the last time we talked, I think it was over 6 years ago. I think at that time, I'm going to go back a second. We'll kind of walk through some the changes you, like you said, putting money back, reinvesting back into it. I think it was in 2020, and you all were converting a line, right? It was conversion of
Yes,
of an old rack line, right? How did that go for you? What did you put in for that then?
good. We converted our zinc one of our zinc lines to a zinc nickel rack line, and it's
Okay.
gone well. It's a lot mostly automotive at this point.
hmm
Um, Still has some open capacity on it, but for I think we got it up now. We're 4 or 5 years we're into it. It's seen nice growth each year.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then I think the year after that, you were talking about expanding, right? Going adding another like 20,000. Did you all do that of the expansion
Yes,
project? Okay.
yeah. So we've been adding space in what we'll call our building two.
hmm
Just recently, a year and a half ago, we moved our shipping department because we outgrew our old shipping area. So we moved to the other side of the building. We gave them a little bit more space, which they were very happy with, not having to continually move skids around. So in our building two now, we have our shipping receiving. We have some more offices over there. We've moved our quality department over there as well, and that's where we're putting in our newest barrel line. And then we have
hmm
our incoming parts storage and chemical storage in that building as
Gotcha.
well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. And I recall, I think it was in 2024. Did you all put a line in then? Another line? Is this the same line you're talking about, or is this another line that you?
Um, so our last line previous to this was maybe I'm trying to think now.
So you have five? Is this the fifth line you're putting in, or is it the sixth one?
We have 9 plating lines
Oh,
now.
9 line. Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
you've really jumped up with that, right?
yeah. So
Okay.
we have 5 rack lines,
Hmm.
and this will be our fourth barrel line.
Fourth barrel line. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess that's a good sign, right? Of the business growing. I mean, have you guys been seeing some increased output of more customers and such? Is that the kind of the reason for it, or is it just a change of processes? What does it
It's
seem to be?
all based on growth. We've seen nice growth with some of our customers. We've added some new customers. Some of our longtime customers have been growing, which is
Hmm.
always great to see. But we also like to have kind of duplication in our processes in
Hmm.
case something does happen. If a hoist goes down on one of our rack lines, that we're able to move that work somewhere else, so our customer doesn't see a delay in shipment, and so we don't see any delays in getting that final product to our customers.
Gotcha. Gotcha with that. And then this new line you say is going. When would that be going online? The one that you're in the process of now.
We're hoping the summer this year.
Okay. And what do you
So
think
we're,
that'll
we're
be? What will that be used for then?
it'll be a zinc nickel barrel line.
Okay.
Um, right now we have a little bit of a smaller line, so this will add more than double our capacity for zinc nickel barrel work.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Is it one specific customer that you're doing this for? Or is it just a conglomeration of several of them? Or
It's several, mostly automotive in the zinc nickel, but
hmm.
not entirely. But the majority
Gotcha.
of the zinc nickel that we're doing is automotive.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Is the automotive business, is it still as scary as it's always been? I think with I mean, it seems like it's ups and downs and all these different things. I know with the with tariffs and all these other things. Is it still as risky as it always been sometimes with that, or?
It seems like it still has its ups and downs.
Hmm.
It's a little bit slower right now. Luckily, like we talked about earlier, we're pretty well diversified. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
pretty well diversified. So if there's a slowdown in the automotive, it doesn't hit us as hard as some others that may be, entirely automotive.
Gotcha. Yeah, with that. Yeah, and I know correct me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that putting in a line now is a huge, substantial financial challenge these days. It seems like costs are just really
It,
higher than I think would be with inflation or anything like that. It just seems like very expensive to do these days. It seems
and
like.
and if you wait, it just gets worse. It seems every few months, there's price increases across the board, and we do the
Hmm.
majority of the work ourselves. We do
Gotcha.
have someone come in and put up the superstructure and build the tanks. But we install everything ourselves, run all the lines, the air
Hmm.
lines, the water lines. They're all automated. So we have someone come in and do that work for us as well. But a lot of the work, substantial part of it, we're doing ourselves in house, which
Right.
helps us
Right.
save on the overall cost of
Right.
installing a line.
I'm sure several hundred thousand, maybe possibly, when you get down to it, right, with
Yeah,
everything and
yeah,
getting it with
quite a
that.
bit.
Yeah. Who are the people that you have doing it? Are those just people that are normally working the lines that you would sort of put over, or how do you do that? Who are the
Our
people that
maintenance team.
maintenance team? Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of these things, they, they're on the drawing board for a while, right? I mean, just the mechanics of finding the space, moving things, juggling things around. It seems like it is like juggling balls sometimes, right? Of getting things, taking down a line,
Absolutely.
putting a new one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Did you
And
have
with
to add
me,
on to any space? You did the 20,000. I'm sorry, we talked about that. The 20,000, right? Where'd you find that space from?
so we were lucky enough to acquire the building attached to ours,
Mm,
which was about 170,000 square feet. We
mm,
acquired that 6 years ago. Fortunate enough that the individual who had it was looking to get out. So it was just perfect timing for us for our expansion.
gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's something as somebody in your position. I mean, it's hard enough just to run a shop as it is, but to always be sort of, like I said, moving things around and adding, and those, I think, adds to those challenges sometimes with
Yeah,
that, I guess. Yeah.
it's
Right.
absolutely needed though to run, a
Hmm.
successful business. We've seen that you have to reinvest, you have to put the money
Hmm.
back in, continue to update the equipment, add new lines to keep your customers happy. Yeah, without doing any of that stuff, it'd be very difficult to maintain the quality and customer service and delivery that your customers need.
Yeah. And I'm sure it makes a good impression on your customers, that you are willing to reinvest. You're just not working on, 1970 era equipment out there. You're working on the latest, most efficient, right? I mean, which helps
Right.
bring costs down in the long run. I'm assuming with that, more effective motors and things like that as well. It's part of it, I think. Or you tell me, is it part of it like letting your customers know we're reinvesting here, so that it sends that
Absolutely.
message to them? Yeah.
I think it helps them become more comfortable, especially
Hmm.
the larger customers, comfortable sending you, if they're shifting a lot of work or adding a new project. I think they like seeing that, hey, we have multiple boilers. If one goes down, we're not shut down. We have
Right.
multiple chillers. We have multiple air compressors that if we do lose piece of equipment, which we do, I mean, it happens,
Right.
that we have others for backup, that we're not going to be shut down unless something catastrophic happens,
Right.
especially in the automotive and military side of things. They don't want to see any delays, they don't want to have their lines down for any
Right.
reason because they can't get parts. So yeah, I think they get comfortable. It helps them become comfortable um, seeing newer equipment, seeing continually building, and seeing that duplication of efforts.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And with you all, I mean, with automation, it helps you grow because you're not really having to bring on a new line. You bring on new staff, which is so difficult these days, I'm sure, with that. So I mean, it's got to be top of mind to make sure that as automated as you can get, you'll get that
Right.
point, I'm sure, with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and you take human error out, not all of it, but you reduce the amount of potential human error,
Hmm.
and it helps on those longer runs give consistent results. You
Right.
don't have someone up there with a stopwatch um, going in and out of every tank. Everything's automated. The program runs itself. So once you have it locked in on your thickness and your chromate times and everything like that, it generally runs pretty smoothly.
Right, right, definitely, yeah. And I know with a lot of the work you guys do is a lot of spec work. I know we talked before, which is to talk about that a bit. I mean, that's a challenge in itself, right? To make sure to be within those specs on everything that they're going to ask you to do, right? I mean, that's a tough cookie to crumble sometimes with that. It seems
Yeah,
like.
and outside, we have a great staff,
Hmm.
which helps us give good quality, and I think that high quality is what's helped us really grow over the
Hmm.
years. Doing that spec work, abiding by all the requirements of the specifications, and just giving the customer exactly what they need. Um,
Right,
I
right.
think those high quality standards have really helped us over the years.
Right, yeah, definitely, yeah. And you all, where have you seen a lot of your customers? I know have you been growing? I know not just up in the Pennsylvania, that area up there. I mean, you guys are pretty much serving the Midwest a lot with a lot of your customers, right? Is that still the case with that?
Yeah, the majority of the work we do is not in the Erie area. We do
Hmm.
have some very valued customers in this area, but we do a lot from you know Cleveland, Rochester, Buffalo, Connecticut, Florida, pretty much all over
Mm.
the United States, and some
Hmm.
customers from Canada as well.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say it's been, yeah, and I know, like I said, 30 some years. How long have you been with uh, Great Lakes there for? It's
It'll be almost 14 years
14 years.
later
Wow.
this year. Yeah, it goes quick.
Wow. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, even look back 5 years or 10 years. How has this changed a little bit of the industry? You're still finishing parts the way they did back in the early 1900s. It seems like. I mean, the principle is still there, right? But how has the business changed to what you all do? What have you seen that's been a little bit different, or the way customers, what they're asking for, or how you deal with customers on things with that?
Delivery has become tighter.
Mm,
Customers want their parts quicker. Quality requirements have become stricter.
mm,
Um, it was before my time a little bit, but talking with Denny a lot of times, um, 30 years ago there weren't as many specs and all these requirements, and things have gotten a lot tighter. Tolerances have gotten a lot tighter.
mm,
Visual requirements have become a lot tighter. Um, and we're lucky enough we have a great staff, production, quality, maintenance all around, that we've been able
mm.
to keep up with the times and give customers what they need.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, it's just delivering what you say you're going to do.
Right.
That's the biggest question mark, which sometimes people don't. But like you said, those quick turnaround times seem to be a huge issue. Sometimes, you're the last person to touch that part pretty
Right.
much. And that's the
Yep.
push, right, of getting it. So you got to do it, get it right the first time, and not have these, not have these issues come up, which are going
Right.
to come up because, like I said, it's such a science, first of all, right? It's a science doing what you're doing. And then, but, managing the production, all those things. There's a lot of areas where you could trip up, but it seems like the ones that can really work past those. And again, like you said, having a very good team that knows what they're expected of them by the customers, I'm sure really helps, like you said, with that. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, and what's on the plan for you all going forward? I mean, are you all still looking at like that 3 to 5 years down the road? I know it's hard to predict what customers or the business environment will be, but are you already looking towards something like that, or down the road a little bit more?
Yeah. We're looking, like I said, we're looking to add the new waste treatment after
Mm-hmm,
this line is up and running, potentially in 2027, 2028, add the larger waste treatment. And then
mm-hmm,
shortly after that, add another rack plating line,
mm.
um, just to keep up on our equipment, make sure we have lines are still operating efficiently. Um, yeah.
Yeah, just put yeah, and with the waistline treatment, some of those I've seen gone in. I mean, it's almost like it's how do you put in one while you've got the others on a different side of the building, or how's that all work with that? How are you going to be able to manage that part of
Yeah, it's going to be in a different footprint. So
it?
we'll
Mm-hmm.
have to get the new one up and installed, um, and then over a long weekend have the switch over where you do the final piping in, get it up and running. Then once we know it's running properly and efficiently, then yeah, take out the old one and find out something new for that space.
But find something those, yeah. But you mentioned, you said automotive, general industry, and what was the other third that you talked about? Was it, you
Military.
say military? Okay,
Yeah.
is that something that's been growing a little bit more with that, or how's that going for you all with that?
Um, Not as much as you would think. We
Mm-hmm.
get customers in a lot, and when I tell them we're a third, and they say, "Oh, the military must be really busy right now with everything going on in the world," and it hasn't grown quite as much as you would think with all the conflict around. But it's a
Mm-hmm.
nice steady industry for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's always this kind. Yeah. But yeah, some people correlate those two, and I never thought that they did actually. I mean, it's with that, but
Yeah.
things get replaced when they get replaced on that. What are some of the bigger challenges you see coming up forward with just in the industry and you all, with that? Like I said, we talked about automotive kind of being up and down sometimes, but what are some of the bigger challenges that you all think are going to be coming up in the next couple of years with that? Certainly, certainly, like I said, certainly, making sure you've got a steady stream of workers. But what seems to be the bigger issue that kind of keeps you up at night on things?
That's one of the issues is maintaining a strong workforce. We have a
Mm-hmm.
really good core group, a lot of good employees, but as you grow, not only do you have to maintain, but you've got to add. So we're in that kind of position now where we're still looking to add, um, and it's physical work.
Right.
So, especially if you're looking to bring in some younger individuals, it can be challenging to find them,
Hmm.
to bring them in to start. The metal finishing industry isn't one that a lot of people dream of going into as a young child.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a good industry. Um,
Right.
it's been a very stable employment for a lot of our employees here, and the young workers and the young individuals that have stayed with us, and we've said you need to learn, before, and the ones that have stayed on and taken the time and put in the effort, learned how to run a line,
Mm.
learned how to plate. It's paid off for them, and they're doing very well. And hopefully they have long careers here. Um, and I'm glad that, the few that have specifically that I'm thinking of now that have made that decision, have made the right decision.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you said, and you're talking about and I think it reflects the industry a little bit, is that, you get a 30-year-old company which is continuing to grow, right? And probably if you could get more land, you would, or whatever, if you could do it, you'd probably add more and more. It's a growing secure business to a certain
Hmm.
extent, right? More than you'd see with a lot of others, where it's like, uh, you know, uh, manufacturing operations where they can, but like I said, hats off to you all and Dennis and the rest of the team that's been there doing that. Have really, like you said, reinvesting back in the equipment, which a lot of people just don't seem to do sometimes, and that seems to be the downfall with that.
Yeah.
You wait until something needs to be replaced. And that doesn't seem to be your game plan, right? I mean, it seems
Right.
like it's be very proactive on
Yeah.
things with that. So
And that's how
good.
Denny kind of, when he started the company, that's how he has always run it, and has kind of instilled in the leadership team here that, don't wait until it's too late. You know, think ahead and try to be proactive with it. That's why we have the 1, 3, 5 year plans, and
Mm-hmm.
try to look out into the future and be prepared. You have to continually invest, to keep your customers happy, for sure.
Mm-hmm.